Consider us shocked. Consider us surprised. Celebrities finally came out from behind their lies and just said the quiet part out loud. They don't like America. They don't like you. And they don't like the red, white, and blue. Jane Fonda, Julia Roberts, Robert De Niro. Folks will tell you why they're burning down the Hollywood sign. But young celebs, not interested in going down with them. What a day, what a day. Thank you, folks, for coming our way. An attitude of gratitude is what we feel here every time you're near and dear to one of these videos by clicking on what we are sticking to the Hollyweirds. As we dive in today, consider hitting that like button. And if you're not yet subscribed, just know every day we're working overtime for you. The Hollyweird celebrities suddenly hate America, and they're finally ready to admit it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's dive in with Breitbart. And I know some of you out there are going to say, Breitbart, that's a right-leaning website. Well, who else is going to be covering this? And we'll talk about articles from the Mary Sue. We've had that on the channel. You know, we've done, all kinds of websites, right? We'll do Breitbart right now. We'll do it, okay? Here we go. From John Nolte. Robert De Niro compares loving America to loving a mean old awful husband. Uh-oh. It says, while President Trump's UFC White House event turned into a triumphant celebration of America and the American spirit, and you all can decide what you think about that. Elsewhere, a bunch of elderly celebrities staged a counter event that looked like amateur hour at the rest home. We can't play this because it's got audio. We can play a lot more. But basically, folks, what happened is that Jane Fonda, that's right, she's not done after NAMM. Jane Fonda counter-programmed the 250th celebration. And here are what some of the celebrities did, okay? Because here is Bette Midler coming in. Here's Bette Midler speaking up at Rise Up, Sing Out, the thing put on by Jane Fonda to counter-program the Orange Godzilla.
All you fascists bound to lose.
All you fascists bound to lose. Let me tell you, that's what a career. What a career.
Well, good thing there's no fascists in this country winning. So
yeah. Here's what Robert De Niro had to say, courtesy of Aiken, I think, at Aiken. Robert De Niro, I hate to say it, but loving our country is starting to sound like a spouse who's been abousified, saying they love their abousifier. And if you're wondering why I'm pronouncing it that way, ladies and gentlemen, it's the YouTubes. I can't love a country, he says, that starts stupid and inhumane wars, deleting thousands of innocents and indirectly causing the deletions and suffering of millions more. I can't love a country that takes healthcare away from millions of people and uses that money to enrich their pals in the El Trumpo Epstein class. I can't love... You know what? Let's just play it. Here he is. Ready?
Right? Later, the letter stated, regardless of our...
Somebody slap up De Niro. He's broken. Come on, unplug him and plug him back in.
yeah, today, Junior.
Junior.
our political affiliation or whether we engage in politics or not, we all love our country. So when we...
The celebrities have gathered together. And I want to point out, too, it's the old celebrities. It's not the young celebrities. And why is that? It's because these people are still stuck in the Vietnam era. They haven't evolved. And because the young celebrities know this stuff is absolutely toxic. But listen to this again, okay? He says, we love our country, and I want you to hear the applause at the celebrity gala where they are trying to defeat the Orange Man in his 80th birthday celebration and the 250th celebration of the US of A.
So when we...
Sorry, he wasn't expecting an applause for the country. You interrupted him.
Not so fast. The phrase, we all love our country, stuck in my throat. Because our country isn't so lovable right now. I hate to say it, but loving our country is starting to sound like an abuse, saying they love their abuser. I can't love a country that starts stupid and inhumane wars.
All right, hold there. Because it sounds to me like the celebrities are saying, clearly, without hesitation, they don't love America. But it's the old celebs, Wiz. I'll go to you first on this one. Wiz, it's the old celebrities. It's the geezers. You don't see Timothy Chalamet doing this. You don't see Tom Holland doing this. They know better. They know that this is the destruction. But De Niro and the rest of them, they're kicking the ladder out behind them. They climbed up, they got their mansions, and if Hollywood burns to the ground as a result of their actions, they don't care.
The country's going on 250 years of existing. Can you name every controversy of the past 250 years in our political system? Probably not. I certainly can't. I don't know if you guys at home can either. The idea that you got a guy, De Niro, and really everybody, Kimmel as well. I mean, it's not even the geezers per se, but you have all these people who made names for themselves and became famous.
I gotta tell you
to some extent. Maybe they deserved it, maybe they didn't. But could you imagine ending that legacy by just being known as the guy who hated the current political administration? Like, that is so boring. That is so boring. And I think it's not just for me, and I know it's not just for you guys too, but it's for everybody. You see De Niro now and you're like, eh. But I also feel the same way for people that are on the right. I am an equal opportunist. I'm not interested in hearing your political affiliations, your political biases. I don't care at all. And you know what? To your point, Pro, young people don't either. Young people don't want to hear it. Get off the stage, Grandpa. Yeah. You did some good movies, but you haven't done anything. You haven't done anything. You played pretend in a couple movies. Why should I care about anything you have to say? You don't know anything about the real world. You don't know anything about normal people. Sit down, shut up, get whatever awards you want. You made all the money you could possibly want. You got multiple families, all these children. You've lived a good life. But there's no reason I should take anything De Niro or anyone else has to say, because it's not going to change any of our lives.
The only thing I was going to push back on was you said not to describe them as geezers because Jimmy Kimmel was included. It drives him crazy when we call him a geezer. So I think we should definitely call him. Let me call out some names, folks. Here's some of the folks who attended and who just were very harsh with America. Julia Roberts, Tessa Thompson, Lily Gladstone, RuPaul, Wilson Cruz, Joy Reid, Jane Fonda. The list goes on and on. And what's amazing is, so you heard De Niro, you heard what he had to say. Not a single one of them came out and said later, hey, correction, I don't agree with that. I still love America. And that's where this goes, I think, into a very ugly place. Lauren, you're giving me a skeptical look there. What did we do? What did we make it with?
No, nothing skeptical about this. I'm reading a super chat that came in and trying to understand what it means.
Okay, we'll get there. Lauren, you tell me what it means that the celebrities didn't come back and say, hey, Robert went too far. Bob went too far. Bob De Niro just went a little too far here. We still love America. It's Trump we don't like. They didn't do that, Lauren.
They live in a bubble. They have swallowed everything that they've been told in their social circles. They believe that America was founded on a rotten foundation and deserves to be taken down a peg. That's what they really believe. It's why when they try to voice support for the country, it comes out hollow and it gets that weak kind of applause that you heard at that event. They don't believe it and they can't perform it. So unless they really do believe it, they can't voice it in the way that's convincing, which is odd considering they're actors.
That makes them literally our enemies, though, Lauren. Not like I'm wanting to be vindictive or hurt them, or I don't wish ill upon them, but like if they hate the country, well, I'd live in the country. So if you hate the country and you don't want it to succeed, which would be, I think, part of hating the country, then I say, wait a minute, hold on. Do you want, like, where does this start and stop? Is it just the red states you want to see suffer, or is it the purple states? Like, who is it exactly that you hate? And what does that mean precisely?
Let me play devil's advocate a little bit. They may be your enemy in the sense that your goals are diametrically opposed. But if you were to come across somebody from, say, North Korea who believed that you were their enemy, would you blame them or would you recognize that they had been brainwashed?
Yeah.
In this case,
I mean, they don't get the brainwash excuse. They have the internet. They have, so many ways to engage. It's their decision to live in a bubble. They can escape it. And, you can dislike
it
the
if you don't see that it's there.
But
hold on a minute. I'm going to push back on that a little bit. I agree with you that they're rich, they're pampered, but I believe that in a way they're in a box they can't see. They don't know anybody outside their bubble. They have paranoia that has been instilled within them by the systems that they engage with. I'm not convinced that unless you actually move them someplace and take away all of their wealth and the comforts that they lean on, so that they have to live a regular life like everybody else, I'm not sure that they can escape from the box.
I'm going to tell you why I disagree, Lauren. If you go back in time, we covered this maybe 6-8 months ago. Jimmy Kimmel's wife, who happens to be his producer. Nepotism? Yep. Thy name is Kimmel. So his wife said, who was the interview with? Might have been Bill Maher was talking about it. That Jimmy Kimmel's wife has conservative family. And because they could not convince their family to switch their votes, they decided to stop going and seeing her family. They ostracized the family and said, we're not going to come for Christmas, Thanksgiving, blah, blah, blah. So I think that was the Bill Maher story we did 6 or 8 months ago. I think these people understand. I think they know people who disagree with them. I think they're close to people who disagree with them. I think that here's the deal. Okay, try this on, see if this fits. Because we want to get this as close to reality as we can. I think that if you're in Hollywood, part of what got you there was complete and total narcissism. Because most people don't want to be famous, even if they think they do, right? If you want to be famous, like, you got to love that people would know you more than having freedom, because part of being famous is you lose freedom. And most people value freedom more than they would value fame. Like, who cares if a stranger knows your face? But the people in Hollywood, they do. And they make a career out of it. They make a business out of it. Okay. And you have to be narcissistic to think, well, I'm going to go pretend to be other people on screen. And that's going to be my thing. I'm going to go pretend to be other people. And then on top of that, I'm also going to speak authoritatively about things I have no idea anything about them whatsoever. So the people in Hollywood, they're quite narcissistic. That's how they got there. And I think the fact that they can't persuade people to vote against Trump in the numbers they believe is owed to them drives them insane.
I don't disagree with that at all, but I'm going to push back one more way gently.
Okay. I can handle it.
How many times have you worked at a place where you made friends, you became close, you felt like you were family until you moved on to another job? And then suddenly the contacts lessen until they stop altogether and you become strangers again.
Yep.
How often does that happen to you? Does it come as a shock?
Is it a shock to me?
Yeah.
I think when you're younger, it probably is a shock to most people. Unless you were a kid who moved schools a lot, then I don't think it's a shock. Yeah.
Right. So this is my point, is that I think this is kind of the situation that a lot of these people are in. They're in this bubble where they're not interacting with people in another state of life. And until they are forced to be in proximity with those kind of people and understand what living in that way is like, they cannot have the kind of empathy that's required to see them as anything other than, as you put it, an enemy.
So you're saying that we need to send them to South Dakota to go have dinner with some real people?
I'm saying we need to desegregate.
Okay, I'm good with that. I mean, I don't want to go live in the Beverly Hills, but you go do it. We'll desegregate it that way. You go live there.
All right.
All right. We're going to volunteer Lauren as tribute. All right, Nick, I think this is horrible optics. I think all the young celebrities should be furious with Robert De Niro and Bette Midler and all this crew, because they should say, what are you doing to us? What are you doing to us that, you come out here and say that you hate the country, or that you don't like the country anymore, because it shines a bad light on everybody in that industry then. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, no, I agree. And the thing is, there probably is a lot of young celebrities that feel that way, and probably even a lot of old ones that are the same age as all these people, but they're not going to say anything because then they're going to be blackballed, and not get any work. So literally, and it's funny that, the left can dictate that and what's allowed, what's not allowed, to be blackballed, not blackballed, whatever, but the right, somebody who's right wing conservative, they can't come out and give their piece. I always use Robert Meyer Burnett as an example when talking about this whole left-right thing, because
They call him RMB, Nick.
yeah, RMB. So he, he's in that business. He's out there in LA. But I can have a conversation with him and not have it, get to the point where we're ready to, start punching each other out or anything.
Sure.
These people, they're so far outside of reality of the real world, like Lauren was saying, in their bubble, that they can't see the forest through the trees. So yeah, I'm sure there's probably a lot of other celebrities that are just like, yeah, I wish these people would just shut up. But unfortunately, they just can't say anything.
Yeah, and it's a horrible situation. It's horrible timing ahead of the 250th. It's just, you could not. I don't think it plays well. I don't think it plays well to say that you're not proud of the country, or that you dislike the country. I think that's always a loser. I think that's a loser with the public. And Andy, as we watch what's happened to Hollywood, I know you're on a panel often. You're good friends with Gary Ambrosia. He has said here on the Pro Show that traveling to Los Angeles now and some of the other California cities where these Hollyweirds live and migrate and conversate, that it's like going to a war zone, Andy. So I don't think most of America wants to live in the America they want to be.
Well, look at the flight of people from the blue states to the red states. Yeah. Look at how many people are leaving because they've given up. I live in New Jersey, and I just read a thing today. The average property tax in New Jersey is now over $10,000 a year, and you don't get much out of it. It's just they keep spending. They don't know how to stop spending. We just had a thing with my daughter's a teacher. They just had to let go 5 teachers, and that's endemic of all around the state. And our governor just pledged $25 million to the defense of illegal immigrants against ICE. And the problem with it is the Overton window is what used to be considered liberal, because it's that meme with the stick figures, and they've run so far left where they're embracing communism and socialism, the things that have failed every single time they've been tried. And yet somehow these people think, oh, it'll be fine this time. We're going to get it right this time. No, they got it right last time. That's the way it works, because when you give ultimate authority to a government, that's exactly what happens. You're seeing it now in Europe, as we were talking about before. And this is what these celebrities don't understand. The world doesn't need them, especially with AI coming. The world doesn't need a celebrity. And when they turn out to be, I was just watching Critical Drinkers. He does those takedowns, like the rise and fall of different celebrities. And he did Ruby Rose. And he said they cast her, originally her character in John Wick 2 had dialogue, but she was such a pain in the butt that they took the dialogue away and made her character mute. Yeah. They're not that necessary, and they don't get that. And these people don't live in the real world. Mark Ruffalo is worth $30 million. He's not in the position I am in, like watching my taxes go up and thinking to myself, at what point, even when I pay off my house, now I still have to figure, how much am I going to have to pay for property taxes? Because it's practically another mortgage. They just put up a building across the street from me, a rental unit, a duplex. The rent on it is $3,000 a month for rent.
Wow.
The numbers don't add up.
And Andy, these guys and girls, they own 4, 5, 6, 7 houses. They're worth millions and millions and millions of dollars. And they're unhappy. They're deeply unhappy. They hate the country that gave them this. That's what's amazing, is they could have made it be an anti-Trump rally and whatever, right? Some folks did anti-Joe Biden rallies, whatever. But they flipped that script, and nobody had the cojones to come out later and say, I don't agree with what De Niro said. I love my country. And that's the real shame of it is, and I think they should be ashamed. I think they've done a major disservice to their industry. I think that they are making the quickly forthcoming removal of celebrities as a status symbol in America. They're sending that to extinction levels faster than ever before. Bring on the new media, bring on the influencers. They can't be worse than celebs. At least I don't think so. Lauren, Wiz, you guys got anything else you want to add? Wiz, what do you think about that devil advocates thing that Lauren did? He makes some good points, or we land on that?
Oh, sure. But I mean, Lauren's going to be a contrarian sometimes, right, Lauren?
Well, no, he's taking the side of De Niro. I don't know what's going on with him.
I will occasionally argue a point that I don't personally hold because it leads to interesting conversation.
Lauren, I'll be honest. For folks who don't know, we have to have that. I mean, do people want 5 people to all agree? Do just go around and all of us agree on the same thing? No, that's not what you want. So in the comments in the chat, be nice to Lauren. Lauren's doing what we got to do. We got to do that, right? Lauren, is it true you love De Niro? You're a De Niro lover?
No, I do not like De Niro, but I do actually hold those beliefs in this particular argument. I think that some of them are just nasty people, but I do think a lot of them are just plain ignorant. They are so spoiled, they have no idea where they are at in the stratosphere of human existence. I don't think that they have any conception of what the average person lives like. And if they did, I suspect they'd be a little bit more humble. I would hope so anyway, because if they weren't, my gosh, that's somebody you just don't want to be around.
Wiz, it comes to you. Final words.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
The celebrities I mean, this isn't going to stop. It's not going to go away. Even they could fade into obscurity, and people already don't care what they have to say or what they think. Something we talked about a little earlier on is the young people don't care. Well, respectfully, it's the young people's world in a lot of ways now, and
not De Niro's world anymore.
It's not De Niro's world anymore. The world that and this is a completely separate topic for another day. But millennials, Gen Z, the kids today that are now the adults that were supposed to be taking over the world in a couple ways. Well, they've realized that the world that they were promised no longer exists, and so no, they don't give a crap about what De Niro has to say.
Wiz, let me see if I know. Let me see if I understand you. When you say that the young people today were promised a world that doesn't exist, what you mean is the idea that I go to school and I get my 4.0 GPA. And I go to college and the college gets me a job. That's gone.
That is gone. Well, you're going to be able to have a family. You're going to be able to work your 9 to 5 and then come home and spend time with the family. You can take care of your parents. You could spend time with friends. You'll be able to afford a car and pay for groceries, and healthcare will be stressful, but things will be livable.
Right.
And then the reality is none of that is true.
And then the entertainers also said, oh, by the way, if you're a white guy who likes girls, if that's what you aspire to be, you're a part of the evil patriarchy, and how dare you ever want to be anything? You should just roll over and let everybody else climb the ladder. That also was part of that baked in, right?
Oh, step aside. Specifically, your time is over if you're not of us.
Right. And then the dinosaurs who have projected that De Niro's, Julia Roberts, I hate to throw her in here, but we're going to have to now, Jane Fonda's, they came out and said the other night, if you don't agree with that, we hate you. And we hate America because you live here with us. That's what they did.
It's past left and right politics. Yeah. I think it's past that. But for these people, it's not. But the real problems, the systemic issues, are way past left-right politics.
Right. And I'll just say it this way, folks. Whether you're white, black, brown, doesn't matter what color you are, doesn't matter what biology you are, doesn't matter what sex you are, doesn't matter your ethnicity, your race, your religious beliefs. If you want to go out and be successful and own a nice home and have a little pool in the back and, raise a family, good for you. And don't let the Hollyweirds hate you for it. You don't deserve that. You're out there working and you're doing good stuff. And they're making movies, often bad movies. Don't let bad movie stars from a bygone era pull you down. Don't you let that happen, okay? Don't you let them rain on your self-esteem. You're awesome. They're dinos, and they don't know the meteor already hit. When you stick around for the entire video, it really does help the channel, and we're so appreciative of that, ladies and gentlemen. Imagine that you would stick around and hear everything we have to say. The studio is glistening because you're listening each and every day. If you're not yet subscribed, well, you should be. and click that like button. Until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.